Alpha's radical rant of the day. Today's subject is warning signs to letting you know that you need marriage coaching now. Now we're going to hit this real quick. Then we're going to review the last 40 for those of you who have missed the last 3 or 4 shows or skipped one. I'll give you the episodes and things like that that you can go to and get the full in depth of those other 40. Okay. So real quick, we want to understand was when I say you need marriage coaching, that means you need marriage help. You need someone that is going to help you get out of the problems that have been dug into your marriage over 6 months, 3 years, 5 years, 20 years, 30 years, heck, even 40 years in some case, which is my record, helping somebody with over 40 years of marriage. And so, but what we want to do is try to make sure that we don't let things get worse. Because what happens is the every day, every week, every month that we as a man, we procrastinate and allow this stuff to happen. Then what will happen is your marriage will get worse. Somebody saying I'm frozen. Well, guys, I am now in the boonies, and so I have Starlink, and so basically you will be able to hear me and my stuff will come. It comes in and out, but most of the time it's real good. But every now and then you might see a froze or whatever. But just hang with me because the content is what's important, not my ugly mug. So, but that's being said, when I say you need help, that's what you need. You can't wait. You can't procrastinate. Time is over. And so many over the last my podcast has been going on for probably what, 3 or 4 years, maybe. Live has been going only like less than a year, 6 months, 8 months, or something like that. I never tell you guys what are the symptoms that you need marriage coaching, and I talk about marriage problems and how to solve them all the time, but we never get into the clues that helps you know that. And so that's kind of what this series is about. So, I have like 72 of them. They're kind of in depth, so that's why I'm splitting the shows out. Okay, so real quick, let's get down to business and start this week off real good. And so what we're going to do is we're going to review the last 40 to help you guys kind of understand where we were and where we're going. All right, so we're going to cover 1 through 40 real quick. So starting with the number one reason that you as a husband need marriage coaching is you have no masculine support, or you have no masculine support system, and your wife has a lot of support system of telling her to leave you and get rid of you. Okay. Number 2, if you believe you have a great marriage, that is the fall of the devil. If you think you got a great marriage, most likely you don't. And you want to make sure that if you think you have a marriage, you already have problems. Same with the good marriage. Number 3, if you believe you have a good marriage. Okay, you have a good marriage, that means that you kind of get a little cocky. You need to understand that just because you have a good marriage, it can always be better. Great marriage can always be better. Never rest on your laurels. That's the main problem with men. Number 4, if you have a mediocre marriage is really bad because you're just surviving, you're not thriving. Your marriage is boring, kind of. Nothing's going on. Number 5, if you have a bad marriage, that's obvious. If you have a bad marriage, that means things are critical. That means they will get worse. The thing I've known about marriages, they never get better. They always get worse. Number 6 of the reasons you need marriage coaching, if your marriage has no passion or excitement, that's a problem. You don't want, you and your wife, you see each other, just kind of kiss. You don't really hug deeply. You don't kiss deeply. You don't sit and hold hands. You don't do anything that excites your marriage. And I don't mean vacations either. I mean day to day. Okay. Number 7, if you are a bad or inadequate lover, everybody thinks they're a good lover. 99.9% of us aren't. And women, sex is very important to them. And so you must learn how to be a great lover. If you don't, you're cutting your legs off. Number 8, if your wife sleeps in a separate bedroom, that's obvious. Guys come up with all kind of excuses where she sleeps over there because I'm snoring and all that kind of stuff. Don't mean no difference. One flesh. Parents, husband and wife are supposed to sleep in the same bedroom. Number 9, if your children are disrespectful, you definitely need marriage coaching help. If you have disrespectful kids, that is a sign that your family is in chaos. Okay. Number 10, if your wife has asked for a divorce, self-explanatory. Number 11, if your wife has left your home, self-explanatory. Number 12, that you need marriage help if you have been married more than once. Most people think that I've been married, that my first marriage, it was her fault. Everything's her fault. Now I'm in the second marriage, everything's her fault. My question is, when is it going to be your fault? Number 13, if you don't understand your purpose and mission as a man, many men walk around today, all they think about is their job and their money and their pleasure and their golf and their fishing and their football and basketball and all of that stuff. Well, guess what? What is God asking of you? You must involve you must involve our Lord in your life so that you can get grace in your marriage to keep your family and your marriage intact. Number 14, if you don't enter spiritual warfare for your marriage, when is the last time you fasted for your marriage? When's the last time you went to adoration for your marriage? When's the last time you said a rosary for your marriage? Spiritual warfare, baby. That's what it's about. Number 15, if your wife has filed for an annulment, if you're Catholic, your wife will, if she's filed for divorce already and has gotten a divorce, well, the next step is annulment. It's time to get help. Stop thinking, get your ego out of the way. Okay? You can change this. Number 16, reason that you need marriage help. If you have a problem with the Catholic or Christian faith, most people have a problem with the church, or they have a problem with God, or they have a problem with our Lord, or they got a problem with the saints. They got a problem with angels. They got a problem with something in the faith. Get over it. This is the universe. This is how it works, man. Get your mind, get your body, get your soul in order. You can't keep your marriage together thinking that you can solve all your problems. You can't solve all your problems. If you could, your marriage would be awesome. Okay? And so would your family. Next, if you are divorced. So a lot of people think that their marriage is over, their relationship is over if they're divorced. The problem is there's that one thing called the Catholic Church, and that one thing called Christ does not agree with divorce. So if your marriage is over, your marriage is not over when you're divorced. That's just you're starting for you to start getting yourself together as a man to get your life in order so that you draw your wife back to you and she wants to be with you again. Okay. Number 18 reason that you need marriage coaching help, if you have not made love in more than 30 days. If you and your wife have not made love in more than 30 days, you have a serious sexual intimacy problem. It's not just sex, it's also intimacy problem. How do you build emotional closeness with each other if you don't make love? Okay, boom. Third reason God created marriage is called unity of the spouses. Number 19 reason, if you have not been to confession in more than 1 year, this is for you Catholics. Not going to confession, you got this big load on your chest. Our Lord wants you to remove it, go to confession, and take care of business. Number 20, if your wife disrespects you, this kind of goes along with the kid thing. If your wife is disrespecting you, then you have a serious problem in your marriage. That means it's almost basically over, okay? Number 21, if you and your wife argue more than once per year, people in good and great marriages don't argue. And if they do, it's just a disagreement. It's not really an all blown out fight or we're criticizing and blaming each other and all that kind of crap every single day. Okay. Number 22, if you have an anger problem, if you can't control your anger, you're not being like Christ. It's called meekness. Being meek is not weak. Being meek is being a very strong, holy, strong, authentic, masculine man. Okay. Number 23, if you are depressed, if you find yourself depressed, either you need to get to lean on Christ more, get some medication, whatever you got to do. Pray more usually helps. Living a good Catholic life will help with depression. Number 24, if you and your wife have generally bad communication. Bad communication is how women fall in love. If you and your wife don't have good communication, you're never going to have a great marriage. Number 25, that you need marital help if the couple has intimacy outside the bedroom issues. So when I say intimacy outside the bedroom issues, I mean men must learn to make love to their wife outside the bedroom. Hold her hand, take her out on walks, kiss her deeply and passionately, make her know that she's the most important thing in your life. How do you do that? Okay. Number 26, if you are a Catholic and she is Protestant or vice versa, mixed marriages don't hardly ever work, especially if you're a Catholic or a Muslim or Christian and Muslim or Christian and Buddha, all that kind of stuff. Man, that's a decision that you got to make before you get married. Stop thinking about love. Think with your head and logic. And it's very hard to marry somebody. And it's not hard to marry them, but once you get married to them, you're trying to go to adoration and go to mass, and that person's trying to go to the mosque. Okay, that's not going to work. Somebody's got to convert some way. Okay. Number 27. You can't agree on how to raise your children. If you and your wife are fighting about the kids and what their future and how to raise them and what you should be doing and what they should be doing, all that kind of stuff, and arguing about it, you got problems. You need marriage help. Okay. Number 28, you can't agree on how to discipline the kids. If you and your wife can't agree on how to spank your kids, how to take their phone away, how to put them on punishment, all the time you're the one, the disciplinarian, she's always the one like giving them the break. So there's a problem. You've got to come. There's got to be a happy medium, okay? And some kids do need their butts whooped. Let's just be real about it. That's why you got all these crazy kids today. Number 29, your kids don't talk to you. You don't allow your kids to not talk to you and give you the cold shoulder and be disrespectful like that. That is just a thing that we don't do. That will start to affect your marriage and your family. Number 30, you feel you married the wrong woman. A lot of guys feel they married the wrong woman because they don't know how to get along with her. That don't make sense. Number 31, you're having an emotional affair. If you are a husband, you're having an emotional affair. Why are you doing that? You got to ask that question, okay? Get in line and see what's going on. Number 32, you are having a physical affair. You're doing things, physical things with another woman that you're not supposed to be doing, and you're already married. It's not your wife's fault. Everything is not your wife's fault. It's you and your wife's fault. It takes two to screw up a marriage. Okay. Number 33, your wife doesn't want to spend time with you. If your wife doesn't want to spend time with you and hang out with you, there's an emotional connection problem. Number 34, reason that you need help. Marriage coaching. Your wife doesn't talk to you or has shut down. Okay. If your wife is not talking to you and she's shut down, that means she's planning to leave you, planning to figure out how to make her life better, how to get the pain to stop in her life. And getting away from her husband is one of those main reasons. Number 35, your wife doesn't go to mass or church. If you're Catholic, we call it mass. If it's church, it's regular Protestant church or Baptist or something. Doesn't matter. If your wife is not going to church, that means she has a moral problem. If people don't go to church, they have a moral problem. And if your wife is not going to church, that means if she's not going to church, she's probably not praying. So that means she's not helping you, her beloved husband, with spiritual warfare. Okay. You need help. If you got any more than one or two of these things, man, you need help, and it's only going to get worse. Okay. I'm not joking. Number 36, you are in a sexist marriage. If you and your wife in a sexist marriage means what? You make love less than once a month. So that's less than 10 times a year, dude. You have serious marriage problems. Okay. Number 37, your wife is premenopause, or your wife is in premenopause or is in menopause. When your wife enters menopause, your intimacy and your sex life will change. You got to understand how that works and how her body works, okay? Number 38, your wife has asked for a divorce or has hired a lawyer. That is self-explanatory. Number 39, reason that you need a marriage coaching help. You and your wife are not best friends. If you and your wife are not best friends, she's gonna talk to somebody, and if she ain't, she's gonna be her best friend. So if you're not her best friend, she's gonna tell all your business to everybody else, and you're gonna get upset about it. And the other thing is, you're gonna be removed from the situation. Okay, that's why you got to be your wife's best friend in a nutshell. And number 40, if your wife has asked you to move out. You never move out of your house unless there's physical abuse, or you can in adultery. That's not divorce though. Okay. But for the most part, you never move out. You don't leave your home unprotected from Satan. If you leave, your house is unprotected. Okay. And so when you do that, all you're doing is handing your wife, your children, and your family and your home over to the diabolical. All right. And so when we get back, that is the first 40. I did it a little longer than I wanted to, but I wanted to catch up you guys. And so what we'll do is we'll take a break real quick, and we will come back. And I hope that little bit helped you. When we come back, we're going to even have more fun and get into the next 50. Let me see, 41 to 50. I hope I got the numbers right. All right, check it out. Hang back. See what you come back. Bye. Bam. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. Okay, we are back, and so check it out. If you guys want to get more into depth with those first 40, then you can watch starting with episode 200. You can listen to it's like 10 of them per episode. Okay, so you can listen. That starts with episode 200, and you can go to my you can go to Rumble or you can go to YouTube, okay, wherever you're more comfortable. They're not on my site yet because my stuff gets up later on the site, okay? All right, so here's what we got going on, man. Time has passed. You ain't got no more time to be playing around. Your marriage is in trouble. Your marriage is mediocre. Your marriage is bad or it's terrible or whatever. It is time to figure out what are the reasons that will help you to understand when you need marriage help. And we're going to go through 41 through 50 right now, okay? Now, I'm going to go into a little bit depth with these because I want to make sure that you understand. I just don't like throwing stuff out there and then you guys go, what's he talking about? No, I put it out there, man, so that you understand that when I get like this means you don't have no time. That means that time is short, especially if you love your wife. If you love her and you care about her and you want to make your marriage work and things like that, and you want a great marriage, it takes work, just like your job takes work, man. Your job takes work, a lot of work, especially if you no matter if you're a regular job or you have a career, either one, it takes a lot of work. Most guys put as much time in their marriage as in their family. No, I'm not even gonna say your family. If most guys put more work into just as much work or more into their marriage as they do their job, everybody would have a great marriage. Right? Okay, so here we go with number 41 reason you need marriage help, and that is your wife constantly nags you. Oh, okay, so just so we understand, man, when your wife nags you, this is the first sign you have serious marriage problems. It is. Your wife gives you clues to when things ain't right, but men expect their wife to walk up to them and go, you know what? I'm so happy. I hate you and I can't stand you and I got to get away from you right now. You know how rare that is that a woman says that? No, because she don't want to, she's attached to you. She loves you. You're the most important thing in her life. And she doesn't want to hurt you, and so she tries to give you clues to help you to understand when things ain't right. And nagging is the first one. Why does your wife nag you? Your wife nags you because she's trying to see and get validation of your love for her. That means you've probably been neglecting her, so she's nagging you to see if you're gonna do what I say. If you do what I say, that means you love me. That's just the bottom line. But what do most husbands do when their wife starts nagging them? Oh man, she's getting on my nerves. She ain't talking. I wish she shut up. I wish she stopped getting in my ear and telling me to do stuff. And I wish she would just maybe make love to me and maybe kiss me or something. I'm sick of this nagging. Well, with women, emotional closeness, communication, then sex. Okay, we not giving sex. Women don't give you sex. They don't make love to you, and then we're gonna have great communication, all that stuff. See, that's what men don't really realize. When we first date our wives, we do not treat them like we treat them after a year or 5 or 20 years and stuff. No, we don't do that. We like, well, I got her now. I got to go to work. And see, man, marriage requires attention every single day. You cannot go one day, not even one day. Okay. Also, this is your wife's attention to feel that you still love her and care deeply for her. If you do, then you will do what she is nagging you to do. If you don't really care, then you will continue to neglect and ignore her pleas. And that's what they are. They're pleas. This is a low barrier to entry. When your wife is nagging you, you have problems. She feels neglected. She feels you don't care about her. She feels that the relationship is going down. Remember, women are more sophisticated instinctually than we are about relationships. Okay? All right. Next, number 42 reason you need marriage coaching is you don't want to come home after work. It is terrible when a man hates coming home after work and does all that he can to avoid going home. This usually means he has created an environment in his home that even he can't stand. Remember, our wife and kids do what we do. We are the person responsible for all that occurs in our family. So the mindset of not wanting to go home to be with our wife and family must be reset. The question must be, what have I done as the husband to create an environment, or what can I do to make this situation better for all of us? And look, man, guys gonna say, see, Jerry, there you go again blaming us. I'm not blaming you, man. But dude, it's time that we stop. It's time that in this country, it's time for us, man, to stop blaming everybody for our stuff. What we do as a man, what Christ did is you get yourself together first, and then you look at your wife. Because you are the leader. God has given you that leader in that home, which means to serve. So to serve, if you the same jerk you was 20 years ago and you have not grown in your faith, you have not grown as a man, you have not grown as a father, and you just expect your wife and kids to sit around and go, well, I guess this is how we gonna be for the next 50 years. Today, women don't have to sit around and wait on you to change. 80% of divorce, as much as 80% of divorces filed are filed by women. Please stop thinking your wife ain't gonna file for divorce, because she has too many outlets today to sit around and wait on you. And if you Catholic, you think, well, God don't believe in divorce, and there's no way we don't believe in divorce. Your wife can believe in divorce when she married you. But guess what? She believes in it now after spending 20 years with you. Look, man, I ain't trying to get on you. I was the same place you were and are. And I'm telling you, the way to get out of this crazy mess, man, is to work on yourself and to get in the game and get yourself together. And then your wife and kids will give you what St. Paul is talking about in Ephesians 5, respect. Okay. Next. Number 43 reason you need marriage coaching. You are a so-called stay-at-home dad and feel you have no respect. That respect thing just keeps coming up, don't it? I don't mean a man that works from home and also cares for his kids. I mean a man that his wife goes off to work and he stays at home to care for the kids in the home. In this situation, a man must evaluate what is his purpose as a man and what is his role given by God. Women are naturally designed and tempered to care for and nurture the children and their husband, and this is their role from God. Men are called to protect, and part of that role is to go out and provide for his family. Why? Because this is more dominant in his nature. And the reason the respect is not there from his wife is because no matter what her career is, she knows instinctively that now she is the caretaker and authority in the home. A man must go out and kill something and bring it home, no matter if his wife makes $1 million a year and he makes 50,000. Now, look, man, people gonna get on me and say, man, that ain't cool, Jerry. You dogging out the guy. He's at home watching the kids. Man, I don't care. God's mission from us men, all of us, is to get off our butt, go out, kill something, and bring it home. People get mad when they don't, men get mad when they don't get respect, but they don't want to do nothing to earn respect. The way you earn respect is first through God and our Lord. That's how you take care of your wife is singing from the top of the mountain what a great husband you are. And number three, your children respect, love, and adore you. And the more holy you are, the more respect you get. But see, guys we don't think like that. Well, I'm gonna stay home and take care of the kids. Well, that's cool and everything, man. But you better get some kind of stay-at-home job where you bring home something so you can feel like a man, right? Because I'm telling you, the way women are today, they will eventually look at you because people go. Because another reason why do I say this? Because her workmates are saying it. Girl, your husband stay at home. What's wrong with him? You hear your wife is getting this in her ear all the time. And this is what I don't want for you, man. Women talk to other women. And women, when they walk down the street, it don't matter how ugly we are, it don't matter how handsome we are. They want to feel proud to walk down the street and say, that's my man. And so I don't care if you're making $10,000 a year, man, get your butt and do something, at least bring in something so your wife can at least, it's a respect thing, man. It's an authority thing too. And a lot of people know what I'm talking about. Y'all just don't want to admit it because we're trying to play the politically correct stuff. But man, your kids and your wife look at you different, okay? Your job, we all have roles given by God, and our problem in this country is we always trying to go against what will make us happy, will make our wives happy, our family happy. And then when somebody comes to tell them the truth, people get mad. That's not a mark of an authentic man. The mark of a man is to say when somebody says something, is that true? Like, is there a reason for that? Does it work? And not as if it's true, does it work? Like, does it work? Does a man staying at home, does that work not most of the time? Does that work, man staying at home? If every man in the world stayed at home and their wife went out and got jobs, what does that mean? What does that say for us as men in this country, man? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm really saying. Okay, next, number 44. Reason that you need marriage help. Your wife has filed for divorce. If your wife has filed for divorce, this has been at the forefront of her mind for at least a year, probably longer. The mindset for her husband must be that this is a cry for help, which it is, and he must begin fighting to regain an emotional connection immediately. The problem is his wife won't make it easy, and she feels that there is no point to trying to save a going nowhere marriage. If a woman has left or she has filed for divorce, this is a cry for help. Most guys let their ego get in the way, which I understand because we don't know any better. Well, if she want to leave, then she leave. If she want divorce, you want divorce. That's what she want. I'm not gonna stand in her way. That's not how you build a family. That's not how you build a marriage. What you got to do is analyze things as a husband, man. That's why you're the logical one. Your wife is filing for divorce because of emotion. Her emotion, she's in pain. She feels neglected. He don't love me. I don't know where we're going. He don't talk to me. Whatever it is that women think about, y'all know them all by now. That is emotional thinking. Well, I'm going to leave him. No, but see, we're the logical ones. It's our job to sit there and go, okay, why is my wife filed for divorce for me, really? And then once it ain't going to take much to figure it out. And then what you do, man, is you get help to try to figure out how to draw that woman back to you to save your family and your marriage and your relationship with God. This is how you do it. Your wife is only filing for divorce, man, because she's trying to get you as a man, as a husband, to man up and save her. But I can't tell you how many times the dudes all over the internet, all over this country, the first thing they do when their wife wants a divorce, they get all mad. Then they start pleading and begging. Then they start calling her names and going off on her. And then that just makes things so much worse. Okay? What we have to do as a man is settle down, get into privacy, get your butt in adoration or something, go to church, settle down, and try to figure out why she's doing this, and then figure out how to change her mind. Now, changing her mind is going to be very hard because she, like I said, she's been planning this for over a year, probably 2 or 3. So if you try to change her mind, what you're going to do is you're going to have a conflict and you're ruining her plans, and she's not having that. Okay. Next, number 45, you feel your marriage has no emotional connection. Now, this is you as a husband. Now, you're not going to feel it as quick as your wife. But man, what I try to teach you is this. The Holy Spirit, if you are connected with God, right, even a little bit, the Holy Spirit's going to say, hey, man, something ain't right. Like, my wife is unhappy. She's doing things. She's not quite herself. She's not acting like she was. When you start getting these feelings as a husband, man, you can't ignore that kind of stuff, right? It's like you're in a dark alley and say your car broke down and you're on a dark alley and you got to walk through that alley to get some help. And you're walking in the alley, man, and then you feel something like, oh, somebody's following you or watching you or something. They probably are, right? So that's what I'm saying about your marriage. It's the exact same thing, man. When you as a husband, as a man, feel something ain't right, you got to start taking care of that now and talking to your wife and asking her, what can we do? Just tell her, hey, I feel that we're not as close as we should be. So do you feel the same thing, sweetheart? Now you can't wait till your wife then packed her clothes and packed the bag and took the kids and moved into a hotel and talking about, well, I feel we ain't close. What can we do about it? That's late. That's a little late, bro. I'm talking about when your wife is, she's mad, you're in a bad marriage, baby, or your marriage is like mediocre and you're like, man, this has got to be better. Something's wrong. Something ain't right. This is how you save your marriage from getting to terrible or horrible. As men, we've got to open our eyes and look at our environment, and our number one environment is not our job. Our number one environment is not our church. Our number one environment is not our friends and our mothers and fathers. It's our home. Your radar, when you walk through that door, should be open, should be going all over the place. Like, what the kids doing? How the kids doing? How my wife doing? Is she okay? How does she, like, open your eyes and see what's going on, man. This is how great husbands do it. Great husbands don't sit around and wait till things are dire and they go, oh my God, we're in emergency mode. We're in emergency mode. Calling the cops, calling all the marriage counselors, calling all the marriage coaches, calling everybody. Please come help me, God. No, that's not how it works, man. Okay. All right. So when there's no emotional connection, this is probably the number one reason men lose their wives. They have no emotional connection in their marriage anymore. The loss of an emotional connection or emotional closeness is also her number one most important thing in most cases. When that is gone, she will check out and begin planning a new future that doesn't include her husband. These men got to understand how much and how important emotional connections are for your wife. For us, it's important, but not really like them. Okay? Because instinctually, that's their job. And a lot of guys say, well, my wife is not the touchy-feely kind of person. Well, she's not the touchy-feely kind of person, man, because that guy is probably not igniting the fire and passion inside of her. I can't tell you how many times I hear that one. Believe it or not, if a wife is not touchy-feely, yeah, she's not touchy-feely with everybody else, including the kids maybe and her friends and everybody else. But when it comes to her husband, she's touchy-feely all day long. He's the exception. And if she's not touchy-feely with you, then you got a problem, okay? Number 46, gentlemen, that you need marriage help. Your wife is always mean to you. If she is mean to you, this is a form of disrespect, and you must pose the question why. This usually means that you are not and have not listened to her or value her opinion for years. If your wife is mean to you, it also means that she doesn't care or is not indifferent to your marriage and your feelings. Not now, but she's now indifferent to your marriage and your feelings. She has now become selfish, and her priority is only her own happiness. The kids may be included in that a little, but not much. So this is a very important one, guys, that when your wife becomes selfish, that's a huge problem. Usually when a woman becomes selfish, which means she's not really thinking about the needs and the needs of her husband, his happiness anymore, or the kids, she tries. They not that they're important, but she's like more into herself. Man, you it's on the way out. On the way out is the best way I could put that. Believe it or not, if this goes along with this with the intimacy thing, if you and your wife are not making love, man, eventually she will be mean to you because women, sex is way more important for women than it is men. In the society, we try to act like it ain't, but it is. And so, one of the ways you know that your wife is sexually repressed, or what's the word? Oh man, if you'd have asked me 6 seconds ago, I could tell you, sexually frustrated. One of the ways that you know that your wife is completely sexually frustrated is she's mean to you, her beloved husband. And then what usually when after a while she gets mean to the kids. The kids start to take a brunt of her. That she complains about them, she criticizes them, same stuff. Now, this is how you know you have serious marriage problems, man. Okay. All right. Number 47, your wife in marriage is not your number one priority as a husband. Okay. If a husband's top priority is not his wife in marriage, he is lost. He is confused to his purpose as a protector and needs help immediately before his wife adopts the same mindset. And eventually she will, then he will be in emergency mode. And of course, it will be too late. Right now, most wives, the marriage is important to them, like their husband is important to them, like you are number one. Most men don't realize the power that they have in their home. They really don't. They don't realize the power that they have, an influence they have over their wife and their children. But it takes a cost of him not being selfish and giving his sacred self to his wife. And what people don't realize is once the wife stops thinking the marriage is not as important, and then that's when things start going down as well. This is why all of these things that I'm trying to get you guys to look at, I know it's a lot of them. And you're going, man, how in the hell am I gonna like organize and keep all these things together? Well, what starts to happen, man? First of all, when you grow closer to God and you start praying and spiritual warfare defending your home, all of a sudden you see a lot more things in your marriage because God's going to show them to you. The other thing is, man, with your wife, also you start building these habits. And when you start building these habits and skills, then it starts to become second nature to you. The problem is you got to get the knowledge and understand what those things are. Okay. And I know this is a lot of things, but they're really not a lot of things because eventually what will happen is you'll just start doing them day to day as a natural thing. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Okay. Number 48. Others are more important to your wife than you. Now, I did this one in my marriage. No, clues your wife wants a divorce. And so when your wife places others above you, that is a problem. In the eyes of God, a husband and a wife are one flesh. And so her body belongs to you, your body belongs to her. It's called bodily rights when you get married. And so when your wife is placing the kids are more important than you, that's the one I get on the internet all the time. I had a guy say the other thing, what's wrong with this guy? I'm waiting for the punchline. Well, the punchline is this, jerk. You're gonna come home one day, all the furniture's gonna be gone, the bank account's gonna be cleaned out, your wife is gone and packed, and your kids are gone. Then we'll see who's right and who's wrong. Who's the one with the punchline? I'm the one with the punchline. I'm the one with the punchline. Okay. And so people don't really realize when a wife or a husband puts the kids above the husband, one of the spouses, or puts the kids above God. And everybody says, I don't put the kids above God. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Where's one of the ways that's so obvious? Well, I asked my kid if he want to go to mass, and he said he don't want to go, so I don't make him. Now, who's putting that first? Who's putting the kid first, and who's putting God first? Okay, this is my point, man. The marriage is the most important thing. The marriage is not the children. Why? Because, man, when you and your wife and God have it together, the kids are going to come along. I promise. I promise you. I promise you. People think I'm going to get divorced and the kids, and then I'm going to give the kids everything they want. The kids going to be happy. Tell me how much that works. Look at divorced children. Just look at them. There's one thing that all marriage professionals know. All of them know, and they say, and they kind of agree on. Divorce kills the children. It kills the children. So how does that go with this? What I'm number 48 of others are more important to your wife than you, because it goes to Ephesians 5 verses 21 through 33, where St. Paul goes, wives must respect their husbands. Doesn't say nothing about love. Wives respect their husbands, because God knows the most important thing for a man is not love but respect. So if I'm in my marriage and my daughters and sons, my wife treats them more important than me. My mother and father are more important than me. Her mother and father is more important than me. Her brothers and sisters, her best friend, all her friends, her job. Eventually, the man's gonna be like, "Oh my God, am I in this?" So let's reverse it, right? Let's reverse it. A woman, a husband treats a woman like that. She lose her mind. You all know it. She'll never admit it. The kids are the most important. We got to give them it. No, the kids ain't the most important. The kids are third. They way down the line. God first, your wife and your marriage, your husband and your marriage. You want to keep your kids happy and obedient and loving and devoted and respectful. You love their mother and you love God. And that's how you do it, brother. That's how you do it. And when other people are more important than your spouse, eventually the marriage will degrade because people will get resentful. They do. Everybody has their place. Kids have their place. Kids are not God, fellas. There are people that treat their kids like their kids are God, and like they poop don't stink. And that's, I understand kids are innocent, man, but the way you keep a child's innocence, man, is you introduce him to the foundational of the church, of the Catholic Church. Then you stay with them, you love their mother, and you love their mother so hard that their mother, your wife, spreads your love that you've given her to your children and to your environment. And guess what? You ain't gonna have no problems like I'm talking about. Okay. This is not Jerry talking. This is not my opinion. This is God talking what he says. And what if you want, the thing about people don't understand about God is the reason these things are all into place is because God created us. And so if God created us, he knows he knows what's best for us, correct? It's like putting sugar in the engine in your car. Are you gonna do that because the manufacturer says, no, man, don't put sugar in your car tank, in your gas tank? That's the way the Ten Commandments and the church are with God and understanding God. It's like he knows what's best for us. And so when we as people, because we're broken, we put pets and dogs and hamsters above our husbands, above people. People won't get married because they go, I got this dog right here, so I'm not going to get married. How you going to get to heaven like that, man? How you going to get to heaven and your companion is your dog? The reason we are called to vocation, which is what? A priest, nun, religious, or marriage. The reason we are called to these vocations, man, is to chisel our imperfections off of us because we're broken. Our wife chisels the imperfections off of us, and husbands chisel the imperfections off our wife so that she is presented before God. And the way through that is prayer and suffering and sacrifice. And this is why there's an order to things. But we always try to think we know better than God, that we know better than the angels, we know better than our guardian angel, we know better than our priest, we know better than the church, we know better than everybody. Yeah. Anyway, number 49 reason we need help. These next two are oh man. Anyway, let me just say so number 49. The 49th reason that you need marriage coaching help is you have erectile dysfunction. ED, you're impotent, whatever, however you want to say it. Okay. This ailment gets in the way of emotional closeness, which is one of the main purposes of sex. Usually, when a man suffers from this, it is something he has done or is doing to cause it. Men must understand that intimacy is more important for women than men. And if he cannot perform, it will eventually damage his marriage and family. Now, look, gentlemen, I understand that, you know, guys get sick, they get diabetes, they get these diseases, something's wrong, and they take these medications, and the first thing that stops working is their private parts, right? I understand that. But as a man, you got to understand, you got to say, okay, I have this problem, and I have to ask myself, is it fair? This is what turned me around, because this question came to me many, many years ago when I had premature ejaculation. My question was to myself was like, is it fair to my wife at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old to not be able to be made love to be intimate with her husband, to feel all the love and the devotion and the specialness and her sacred self that I can bestow upon her? Is that fair to her? Did she marry a man like that? No, she didn't. It's not fair. And the answer to that question is, it's not fair, brother. It's not fair. So if a man, you got diabetes, if a man, you got you got high blood pressure, as a man, you taking the medication because you're sick some kind of way and it's causing your not to be able to form an erection, then you need to, then what, as a man, the best advice that I can give you is this. Women mess around, and I'm not saying your wife's gonna mess around, just hear me out. Women leave and mess around on with other men, and they talk to other women, divorced women and single women, about their marriage and stuff, to fill the void that they're not getting from their husband. And today, you have to have a very, very strong wife to not go out and have an affair on you when you have sexual health problems. And this is my point. Women, just like, a man might say, well, I didn't sign up to be cheated on. Well, the question also is, well, did my wife sign up to be able to not make love to me as her husband? And so my point of it is, man, I understand, because I've had sexual health problems too. And what I had to tell myself is this, man, I got to get my body together. I got to get myself together. I got to learn how to eat, what to eat, and how to, because all disease, gentlemen, is caused from what we put in our face. All disease. Everybody goes, well, it's generational, it's this and that, and cancer's in my blood, in my family, and high blood pressure's in my family. Yeah, but that's not like a contract. Like, it's not like or foreseen definite, And so this is what I'm saying is, one of the first things that we started my program is start learning how to not get erectile dysfunction, and if you have it, how to get rid of it. If you got premature ejaculation, how to get rid of it, how to stop it, and how to get rid of it, and how to not get it, and all these other sexual things. The reason why is because intimacy is important. It is the second most important thing in your marriage besides prayer and relationship with God. It is. Why? Because it has to be, because women, emotional connection is the most important thing for women. So what is one of the main purposes of sex? The first purpose of sex, of course, is what? Is procreation. But the second purpose for sex is what? Is the unity of the spouses, to make them closer, to build a closeness together where they feel close and they love each other. Bam. That's why this is important. Okay. Number 50, the last one for today. Reason that a man needs marriage help is you experience premature ejaculation. This also is preventable, and knowledge is the way only to conquer it, is the only way to conquer it. Without the benefit of sexual peaks, our wives will begin to believe we are selfish and only think about ourselves. If a man experiences this problem, he must get help immediately or suffer the degrade of his wife's temperament. I talked about this earlier. with women, it's sex is so important to them. Intimacy with their husband is so important with them that it will start to control their temperament over months and years. We all know it's true. We all remember in the day we always say and guys still say it today. She needs some, right? That's what we say. That's what guys still say today. Have said been saying it for centuries, and it's because we men know when the problem is. We know what the problem is when we see a woman that's mean or she has an attitude problem, right? It's not being mean to her. It's just knowing that that's what's up. And so today, when you see feminist women and they're always trying to control men, they're always being mean to men, they're always trying to dominate men, it's because they have sexual frustration problems. And people are gonna be like, oh, Jerry, that ain't true. It is true. It is true. It is true. If a woman does not get married and she has not, the purpose of a woman is one of her purposes to be married to either Jesus or be married to a man. One of those two. Okay? And so it's important that we understand as men when we have sexual issues, like we have erectile dysfunction or we have premature ejaculation, things like that, where we can't perform properly, it will degrade our marriage over time. It just will. Not because sex is fun or it's not fun or it's pleasurable, it's not pleasurable. It's because it is a need, it is not a want for women. All right? So that is right there, gentlemen. That is the 10 for today. I hope you guys got some help out of it. Stay with me, and we'll have some closing remarks when we get back. Bam. Get live Catholic marriage help Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Live streamed on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and CatholicAlpha.com. Let me get the right thing. Sorry. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. Hey, we are back, gentlemen. And I have a lady here today, so that's good. So I'm gonna say gentleman and lady. So what I'm gonna do is look at some comments here because I like, I'd rather you guys call, but I understand everybody's not the calling type, so I understand that. So let me have here a comment. So Andy Sisha says, tough to fight God's plan. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Andy. But I will agree. The thing about understanding God's plan is it's really called God's will. So God's will for us, but even God's will for us requires that we cooperate and we be men of action. So people go, well, my marriage, does God want me to stay with my wife? Okay, and the first thing I ask them, is it your first marriage? Did you get married in the church? Yeah, I get married before God. Of course, God wants you to stay with your wife. You got kids, you got a family. You've made love to this woman. You've cherished this woman. You've made her a priority in your life. Of course, God wants you to stay with him. You just got to learn the skills to make her happy again and communicate better with her and to get her to realize that she is the most important thing in your life. Okay. So God's plan comes with cooperation. it's it's not like a predestination thing. Like, like, well, no matter what I do, it's gonna be screwed up. There's gonna be God's plan kind of thing. No, that's not it. What God does is He sends the Holy Spirit to talk to you, try to get you to do what needs to be done. When you don't, then what God does is He sends the Holy Spirit, and then He tries to make good out of bad. Right? That's what God does. He tries to make good out of bad. That's why people say, well, they get mad at God or the Catholic Church when the Catholic Church, we want to baptize babies, or we're saying, we you have a really faithful person that loves God and understands the church, and they go, well, the reason babies die is because that's what God's plan was, and that baby spent enough time here, and also God, you have to have free will, man. This is why the Holy Spirit makes good out of bad. Bad things are going to happen in a free will universe. Like, God could just say, hey man, we're going to do what I want every time, every day. Everybody got to do it no matter what. Then we'd be robots, right? You don't be robots. So in a free will society, man, people going to die. People going to get sick. People going to be happy. People going to be sad. That's just the way it is. It's our actions that cause a lot of things. So God is here kind of like to mop things up and to try to turn devastation into happiness. Just think about it. If you allow Him, every time something bad happens in your life, like say a child dies, let's just say, don't some always good, like maybe a year later or 6 months later or years later, you go, wow, look at all the good that came from that. Me and my daughter-in-law got closer. Me and my sister-in-law got closer. Our family was closer. We all bonded around that tragedy, and now our family's a lot stronger. And so this is what God's plan and God's will is all about. Evil's going to happen because you have Satan, because you have a free will society. Okay. Next, my beautiful wife is talking about facts. Hashtag facts. That's her thing. Next is Mr. Johnny says, my wife has gotten really immersed in her hobbies to fill the void. I left not sexually. Oh, okay. Yes. I am almost 100% she isn't cheating on me and is being honest. Should I thank her for being a strong woman and not seeking a replacement relationship? Well, that's a tough question. Johnny, what I would do, man, really is when things are void in your marriage, then and you temporarily don't have a way to fix it in like 2 seconds. What you have to do is you have to like make up for that in some kind of way. Like you might have to give her more attention and show her that you love her more, and do more things without being asked, and intensify your romance and things like that, to show her that you care and you're devoted to her. Sex is a very hard thing to overcome, but temporarily you can do these things, and the main thing too is to sit down with your wife and talk to her, and get her true feelings on what she thinks about things, man. A lot of times, guys, and you know what, I'm guilty of it too sometimes, fellas, you know, but many times men, we sitting there trying to figure out what our wife's thinking instead of doing the simple thing and just go ask her. Most of the time, when your wife's lying, when she's not being honest. And most of the time, when your wife is not honest with you, mainly it's because she don't want to hurt your feelings. Okay. So what you have to do as a man is you have to sit her down, hold her hand, say, listen, I really, really love you. I really want to know the truth to this. It might hurt me, but I'm not, the thing about it is most important is our closeness. And so, Johnny, that's what you do. But why then what you do is you tell your wife that you're going to do what you can to fix this problem, for the reason that you and her can't make love on a regular basis. Because women, they do fall in love with their ears if they know you're trying, and they know that you're on a mission to fix things and to try to make things right. They will stick with you, man. The problem men have is with women cheating and things like that is because they stop talking to them. They don't give them attention. They're not in their face, and this is what causes a lot of those things, man. Okay. And who we got last? Andy still mess with me. God's will. Okay, Andy, I got you, brother. All right. So Real quick, gentlemen, before I leave you, I'm going about 5 minutes over, but I'm about done. Let's go over the 10 today that the marriage coaching that you need, marriage coaching, need marriage help. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna review them. So number 41 was your wife constantly nags you. Number 42 was you don't want to come home after work. Number 43, you are so-called a stay-at-home dad and feel you have no respect. Number 44, your wife has filed for divorce. Number 45, you need marriage help is you feel your marriage has no emotional connection. Number 46, you need marriage coaching. Your wife is always mean to you. Number 47, your wife in marriage is not your number one priority. Number 48, others are more important to your wife and in her life than her husband is. Number 49, reason you need marriage coaching is you have erectile dysfunction or you experience premature ejaculation. All right. So thank you all for hanging out with old Jerry today. And I will see you tomorrow. And so we will end as we always do with a quote from Pope Benedict XVI, which states, society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness. Now go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual fight is up on you. Fast, pray, and prepare for battle. Thank you for listening in today. If what you heard helped you in any way and you would like more personal attention, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior marriage coaching. And remember to join the Catholic Alpha Radical Live podcast as a caller or listener every Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. To join as a caller, dial area code 313-RADICAL. To join as a listener or view the live stream, visit the Catholic Alpha Radical Live Facebook page or visit CatholicAlpha.com for Catholic marriage help that actually works. Bam!